Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming today. Here are the topics I'd like to cover. Is there anything else we should add?
Oh, I would like to staff a new participant who's spinning their wheels.
And I could use some clarification on the policy about school funding. And do we have any guidelines on computer limits or anything?
Okay, let's add a check-in on case management to the end of our agenda. If that's it, we'll get started. Our year-end report is coming up, and I'd like to review the data we'll be collecting and how I expect to receive your reports. But first, I want to thank you for all the work that you do. I've noticed that some of the services you're providing are not being captured in our database, like guidance and counseling and job-related services. I've also noticed an entry for personal assistance and think we need to review what personal assistance means. Remember, if you're supporting daily living, then you are providing personal assistance services. It does not mean providing hygiene products, okay? Also, if someone is in need of personal assistance services, it's probably a good case to share with the state. Now, let's talk about job-related services. By a show of hand, how many of you have helped a participant with a job application? That is a job-related services. What would be some other examples?
Help with a resume and practicing for a job interview?
Right. Now finally, comparable services. We need to document our efforts to identify comparable services.
Could you remind me what comparable services are?
Of course. They are when you search for other resources to provide services for your participants. Like when the diabetes program paid for your participants' shoes, that was a comparable service.
All right.
There is a place in the database to record your search for comparable services. So how is the database working?
Well, I have had a couple of questions when locating specific services, but Rick has been a great technical support.
That is great feedback. Now, as we are planning on reporting on our grant, let's take a minute and talk about records retention. We are required to keep records for 3 years from the date we filed our last grant report. Are there any questions about that or anything else I've covered?
No.
Okay then, cubicles. As we are transitioning to a new building, we'll all be working out of cubicles, and there's only one office with a door. You cannot meet your participants in your cubicles. We can hear you and it does make them uncomfortable. I have created a process for us to reserve the office, and if we have to, we can utilize the conference room in the social services departments. So please let me know if you need any help with this.
What are we going to do to keep our files safe?
We were able to keep all of our filing cabinets in the janitor's closet, so it is very important to keep the door locked at all times. Please do not leave your case files at your desk. If you get called away, please take the time to secure your files. Any questions? Okay, good. Before we move on to case management, I do have an update on the car repair policy. You will require additional authorization. You will need both my signature and the signature of the department head.
Really? He's so busy and he's never in his office.
It does bring us more in line with tribal policy.
More bureaucracy.
Yes, okay. On to case staffing.
Well, okay, I have a participant who keeps changing his goal every time we start drafting his IPE. Last week, he wanted to be an auto mechanic. Then he wanted to be a counselor. And this week, he wants to try for the teacher aide position that just opened up.
Is there a common thread to all the jobs he identifies?
Or have you provided an opportunity for work experience in those areas?